We welcome you to Blues Game Day Live alongside Joe Vitale, Darren Pang here at Los Angeles, California, where the weather's about 60 degrees. You can see over our shoulders. It's got a little bit of sun peeking out. It was raining all day yesterday in Anaheim, but Joe Vitale, it did not rain at the very end. Boy, oh boy, that was something to watch. When it looked like it was going to be a 4-3 loss and a disappointing one at that, the Blues somehow found a way to turn it around.
They did. I don't know about you, Darren, but I was one of the bystanders up top thinking this game's a wash. We're going to head out of here. We're going to miss these 2 points. We're just going to head to L.A. And 1 minute to go, you mentioned it was Parayko, a point shot, a smart point shot. He throws it off the net. There's about 7 bodies in front of Gibson. Everything was tight. He hits that yellow dasher. You practice this in practice. And Robert Thomas, right spot at the right time. He ties it. But the way that it continued was the most amazing thing, because I don't know about you, but the Ducks seemed like they were in shock.
Yes,
I was in shock. I think everyone in the building was, okay, let's get to overtime.
Yep.
But there was one player that was not satisfied with going overtime, and that was Ryan O'Reilly. He wins the faceoff, snaps it in. He's hard on the forecheck, creates a turnover, and then the rest is history, I guess.
And Ryan O'Reilly, too, there were probably moments in that game where they were trying to get that chemistry back again with Braden Shen returning to the lineup. O'Reilly's played some great hockey, and you could understand why he'd be maybe a little bit out of gas for a few games. But he and Tarasenko went a little bit dry for the 6 games without Braden Shen, and sure enough, they come back and they combined for 6 points in last night's game. In fact, I'll take a step further with Ryan O'Reilly. When they were behind, he made a great play on the boards that resulted in a tripping call against the Anaheim Ducks. And with that tripping call, that's when Craig Berube got things going. Okay, if we get in the offensive zone, is that your thought as well? With about a minute left in that power play, pull the goalie, make sure you've got puck possession time, and that's exactly what happened, or that's how it played out anyway.
You know, it's always one of those things, and I was talking to Kerber about it during the broadcast, right when they had the 2-minute power play. It was about 3 minutes to go in the game, and it's always an interesting call. You see some coaches that pull the goalie right away. It's a 6-on-4 for 2 straight minutes, and then you see sometimes they allow it to 5-on-4. I like the way Craig Berube adjusted. He gave it a minute. I think there was a little bit of offensive zone time, but then again, it was a minute to go. They really hadn't generated much at the net, and he said, why not? And he pulls Binnington. It's a 6-on-4 for a little bit, and then it was ultimately the 6-on-5 that put him ahead.
You know, Joe, I like that theory better. This is just me personally. I think when you pull the goaltender and it's 6-on-4, I think there's too much of a comfort level there. So you get the puck and you're on the outside, and you play it on the outside, and you're looking for that perfect play. But when it's just a power play, and then the goaltender gets pulled, then the defending team, now they've got to change their philosophy as well, because it seems to happen in a hurry, and all of a sudden there's a swarming 6-man unit against you. So it did work out well.
100%, I agree with you, and I think that you have to adjust according. This is why coaches do what they do. I mean, 3 power play goals in the game up to that point. The 5-on-4,
it's a good start.
It was working perfectly. Almost want to leave it alone.
Yep.
You don't want to kind of mess with the 5-on-4, and I think he gave it a shot. And it was about a minute to go, and he decided, I'm not liking what I'm seeing. You pull the goalie. It's a 6-on-4, and I think it was a great decision.
A lot of Blues fans probably didn't stay up for the very end of it when it was 4-3. But hopefully you did. You woke up this morning, you saw that score. Now it's back-to-back games. Again, we'll go last night. A couple of really important parts. The captain, Alex Pietrangelo, he ties the all-time mark with the St. Louis Blues, 22 game-winning goals. He ties the great Hall of Famer Al McGuinness. So that's quite an accomplishment there. He had a goal and 1 assist in the game.
Yeah, I think that, his goal at the end there, I think he saw Henrique's feet, the way they were positioned.
Oh, I don't think so.
I think he put it right off his foot the way that's the way he
so.
scripted. No, terrific timely
Shen was
goal.
right there.
I know, he was. And terrific timely goal for Pietrangelo. And, you can go on about the numbers and what he's meant to this team. And, I think the turnaround, I think he started out a little bit slow this year. And I think he manned up. And I think he's been a leader for this group, especially throughout the month of February, now into March. And the whole defenseman group. And this, to me, it's going to be the engine that keeps this team moving. It's about these defensemen getting up in the rush and contributing.
A lot of pressure on them.
Yes, and we've seen
and energy.
Yes, and when we've seen when they score goals, this team is successful. So I think to continue to do that, and Petro's certainly been the leader back there on the back end.
41 goals for defensemen for the St. Louis Blues this year. That's tied for most in the National Hockey League. Michael Del Zotto got in the lineup last night. Not sure on back-to-backs. The team did not practice today. So the LA Kings, they're at their practice facility. So we're not sure, but you just assume you play the game and you say, well, Binnington played last night. He wasn't at his sharpest, but he got the W, and that's all that matters. But Jake Allen, in all likelihood, gets the nod tonight against L.A. Maybe Robert Bortuzzo jumps back into the lineup. So I think what Craig Berube wants to do is keep those bodies fresh, so you're mentally in back-to-back nights, too. You've got some fresh energy in that room.
I think so, and I think you got to have those legs, especially because you're playing a team that it could be a trap game. I think you look looked at the Ducks last night, second to last place in the league. Now you're facing the worst team in the league, and the LA Kings are, arguably, pretty much the bottom end of every category across the league. So this is a game where it's going to take some internal leadership, some maturity to get through the game. And I don't know about you, Darren, but LA Kings, they still scare me. And I know they're the worst in the league, but you look at this top line.
I agree with you. I
Kopitar,
totally agree with
Brown.
you. Well, look at the last time
Foley.
the Blues were here. Bennington actually suffered his first NHL loss here in this building, and Kopitar put on a show.
Yes.
And, I mean, they've got some, obviously, they've got some really good players. And the old stats and the old numbers, you throw them out the window when these two teams match up. And you saw that in the last game here.
You really do. I mean, last night should be a telltale that you're playing one of the worst teams in the league, but you just never know. I mean, this is the National Hockey League. You got to be ready every single night, and this team still does scare. I mean, Doughty's still, I think, arguably one of the best two-way defensemen in the league, and we all know Jonathan Quick can steal a game. If we see him here tonight, it's going to be a tough test for the Blues.
I always like the competition there between Doughty and Alex Petrangelo, to be honest with you. They won gold medal with Team Canada in 2014 in Sochi, World Cup stuff as well, so that's always fun. How about Robert the Thomas? Huh? Two goals. That's a big confidence booster for him last night.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. I love the toe drag on the power play. It's something him and Tarasenko do religiously. I think he picked the pocket perfectly. He knew exactly where he was going. You had the net front presence of Pat Maroon. He also shot through the defenseman. I believe it was Magnum. It was a terrific shot, and then just tied up the way he did. This is a player they need to get moving. They need him down this stretch. They need him throughout the playoffs. A young player. He's done terrific this year. We were talking about it last night, and just the decision to keep him here. I thought it was just a wonderful decision. I think he's just continuing to grow and evolve into just a great winger for this group, and a huge confident boost for the big Choo-Choo Thomas, the train.
Not an easy decision for management and the coaching staff at the beginning of the year, because you're taking a team that's expected to win, all expectations very high, and then you're adding a couple of young players, which, as we well know, it's not the ideal recipe for success. But yet, the question then was, is he better off being here in the National Hockey League under the tutelage of these players and learning the game the way that you've got to learn it at the NHL level, or go back to junior and getting junior habits? So at the end of the day, guess who was right on this?
Darren Robert Pang.
No, the management
team.
Oh,
right. Sorry.
they were all they were correct, and he's going to be a difference maker, because boy, he gets around that ice, and when it seems to me like when the team's a little tired or they don't have the legs, he always shines a little bit because of his skating and his elusivity, if that's a word.
Oh my gosh, that's a dinger there.
Is that you went to Northeastern? Is that a word?
Elusivity?
No, elusivity.
Elusivity.
So he's elusive. He
has the ability to be elusive.
Thank you, bud. Appreciate that.
He's got it all.
Okay, what time's the game tonight? 7:30 here.
Yeah.
That's
9:30.
It's got to be 9:30.
9 o'clock.
Pre-game show 9 o'clock
on Fox Sports Midwest.
Thank you.
You're Darren Robert, the Pang the first.
Yeah.
You're going to be on the call with John Kelly, the 4-time Emmy winner and 2-time Stanley Cup champion.
Wow. Okay.
And I will be on the blowtorch.
Yep. 50,000 watt.
Chris Kerber. We're going to be blowing it up.
Camo X.
Camo X. Yep. 9 o'clock pregame show with a 9:30 puck drop.
That sounds fantastic.
I can do this.
Erica Weston is going to be hosting our show tonight on
Wonderful.
Fox Sports Midwest. So Erica, have a great show, and we'll obviously be talking to you here from Los Angeles, and I'm looking forward to the game, big fella.
I'm excited.
So get yourself ready.
I'm excited.
Okay, go do some stretching. Okay?
I'm ready to go.
Okay, for Joe Vitale, I'm Darren Pang. Enjoy your day, everybody, and don't leave the game tonight. You never know what's going to happen at the very end, okay?